Hello, everyone. Happy Monday. We are here for today's weekly reading, and we also have some cards drawn for September because we are in the last couple days of August. I have no idea where August went. Um, it's not even being an ungrounded thing. I mean, well, Saturn was in retrograde up until this weekend, so there were some oddish timing things going on randomly. I'm sharing this out with everybody while we chat here. But I know I was in center. I know I was doing the focused work that I'm usually striving to hit. When I start my day and I do my daily practice and I go to get in that groove, I was hitting that consistently, even in all the weirdness. And the weirdness for my family wasn't even quite over this weekend. We also had to bring the car to the shop after it just got out of the shop. So like last Thursday, last Thursday, we took the car to the shop because it died on us, and we were supposed to take the kids to Knoebels theme park down near us the next day. And I was saying, oh, well, at least the car broke down someplace where we can easily, drop it off at the shop and get it fixed, and we weren't going to be completely stranded. So my husband, they've said they finished it. We went and we paid for it. Money we don't have. We went and we paid for it, and we got the car back. And he and his buddy were taking the rental car back to Enterprise across town, and it didn't even make it across town before our car broke down again. Same thing. They didn't fix it, or they didn't fix what they thought they fixed. They fixed something else. So now we have to pay for that again. Yay! So even in crazies, you don't have to let the crazies really get to you. And sure, there might be some silver linings, but things break, things go crazy. The other day, I was doing readings on a chat site. I think it was Zodiac Psychics I was on. And I was up in my bedroom because it was nice because it's only chat. I don't have to, look presentable. But this is me who thinks, t-shirts are a fashion statement. Wonder Woman on today. So I was sitting there and I was doing the chat and I was drawing cards, and my daughter comes in the bedroom and the two dogs go absolutely ballistic just because she walked in the room. She sits on the bed. The two dogs jump on the bed. My cards go flying. I go to move to catch stuff from flying. And I have a little a rolling tray thing by my bed so I can put my laptop on it because I usually need air under my computer. So I just have a little board that I put over the shelf so air gets to it, but it's just a little rolling cart. And I don't even know how it happened, but the whole thing started going backwards, and it ended up one of the back wheels fell off. So I'm holding on to the computer tray, trying to grab my cards, trying to push the dog off the bed. But it is those moments in which we know we are most definitely alive and alert and responding to the present moment. And sometimes it takes a little bit of a shake-up to get there. Now, I'm going to dive into the weekly reading here because this is exactly where things kind of need to be. I did notice online a lot of people were talking about having some kind of eclipse hangover. So the energies were so high and then they came down, and we all might be experiencing some kind of crash. And it kind of rang in my head today, oh, yeah. As I was pulling the cards as to why they're saying that. cards are saying that. And that's exactly what we're talking about. Because anytime we experience any kind of high, even if we're not experiencing the high well ourselves, we're still in this high energy. It's like being on a roller coaster. So if you're on the roller coaster, maybe you like it, maybe you don't like it. Maybe you're just finding out for the first time whether it's going to make you Ralph or whether, like you're going to be the one who's up there going, I want more. Whatever your personal opinion about it, it was still pretty much an adrenaline rush. And hi, Emily, how are you today? And so now that we are off the roller coaster, or the roller coaster is winding down and going back to the line where you get back on and off it, we're going to experience a little bit of a, oh, is that all that was? Now, the cards have more specific messages we go into this week. And this week is just, it's going to be beautiful energy. There shouldn't be too much to trip us up, but the cards do talk about that. So here we go. This is the stars and cards for this week. We have Maui, Mother Earth. You are called upon to help with environmentalism. And I don't take that just to mean like environmental sciences, but any sort of environment, any sort of habitat that you are in, that you are choosing to take care of, choosing to be a caretaker for. You have to be the change. You have to be the one who's going to do the stewarding. In other words, this can be a very good week, a very grounding week where we're taking a look at all the little practical details that have to get put together. So Maui, Mother Earth is on our side this week. The Tarot, that's the World. So again, this could be a fantastic week. And because we are in the action phase of the Mercury retrograde, these next couple of days might be very potent for manifesting. We just have to take care of the details and continue forward as if nothing could stop us, because really nothing can. Really, it's all mindset. We might get delayed a little bit, like if our money runs out toward the end of the week kind of thing, but that doesn't mean we can't take smaller action. It doesn't mean we can't stop taking care of the rest of the details just because maybe we can't pay for something Friday instead of next Monday. All right. But here's where we start getting into some warnings. Friendly warnings, but warnings. Be vigilant from the Messenger Oracle deck. And that is a big red dragon with who was guarding. Okay, for a second I thought that was an actual person on the card. But it's a big red dragon guarding something like Izadril, the tree of life. Guarding that source energy. The thing that is actually most important to us and how we work in the world. So be vigilant with your energy. This is, again, a boundary thing like we were getting last week. Respect your boundaries. Make sure you're doing what you need to do. Don't let anybody feel like they're going to run you over. Your feelings and opinions are just as valid as anybody else's. Hey, Haley, how are you? So the last card for this week is Ghostlands. Now, admittedly, I had to look this one up. This is from the Enchanted Map deck. I love this deck. Because I don't draw that one very often. It just not one of those cards that really comes up a lot for me and for the people I read for. But it's a very interesting card considering that we're just getting off the eclipse roller coaster. Like I was just talking about, we had the high, whether we liked it or not, whether we enjoyed the roller coaster ride or not. It was still an adrenaline high, and now we're coming down off of it. And as we're coming down and coming back into the station, things might not seem like they've changed all that much. So like all that hype, all that buildup, all that crazy shit getting stirred up, and life might look a lot like it did back at the end of July. And it will. Eclipses, and this is part of why I was saying throughout last month that eclipses aren't meant to change things wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. And especially the energy last month, we might have felt like we were being pushed toward that, push toward these changes and make them happen, make them happen. Maybe I can do this, maybe I can do that. How do I keep up with all this? But really, the eclipse isn't about sudden change. That's just kind of like the random stuff that kind of just gets a little accelerated more than normal because it's a roller coaster ride and it's not a ferry ride. It's really about planting new seeds. What changed was us, not necessarily our external circumstances, at least not immediately. And now it's up to us to nurture these newer seeds that we have. And perhaps it's been a redefinition, or you have revisioned the way your dreams look. Because I think we have dream seeds within us, things we have to nurture and things we have to grow. I don't think we can ever be a perfect archetype of something. So if you say like, I'd love to be a healer someday, and I love to work with animals, and I want to be like this healing druid person, you're talking a lot of archetypes there. You're talking a lot of patterns, a lot of blank slates to be filled in. But we still need to nourish that dream seed that we get during these high vibe times. That's what's changing our vision, our definition of what we want. We come into a greater idea of what actually matters to us and what we are actually willing to burn and stand for. But so now that Ghostlands card for this week, we might be feeling that what actually changed. So we have the clock, and then in the background we have like a little temple that we should enter, but we have to like pass through this whole time concept to get there. We have to pass through this comparison that we might be making from the present moment to the past moment. Has anything changed? What really changed? What was that all about? I was so fired up last month, and now I am not sure what it means. It's comparing past to present. We're living some kind of past over again and saying like, was that really everything I thought it was? And this week it could also mean that we might be comparing our past glory days to right now, as in our best days are behind us already, because maybe that vision that was supposed to come through, that was kind of being influenced to come through during the eclipse, maybe it hasn't quite hit you yet. We do have a whole month of integration coming in September. More planets are going to fall out of retrograde. More things will be going direct as we come to the end of September. So don't worry if it feels like I didn't get it this time around, or if it feels like I don't know what these people are talking about. All I experienced was I felt like I got run over by a Mack truck. It still might be coming because the energy doesn't just go away. It's already shifted something in you, and now we have to consciously catch up to it. And when it comes, it's going to come strong. And you might not even realize it if you're not paying attention that was probably what started back in the eclipse. That's how sneaky they are. They're very sneaky. So then going into September, since we only have just a couple days of August left, we have Ericura. I'm not sure where this goddess is from, to be very honest. This is a Doreen Virtues Goddess Guidance Oracle card deck. But she is the goddess of blossoming. You are just getting started, so have patience with yourself, the process, and don't give up. So, even Goddess Ericura is coming forward to tell you, don't worry. There's still a lot of integration and a lot of things that are going to be coming more and more clear as we go through September. Just because we got the seeds, we think we might have had a download, we felt like we were on the verge of something during the eclipse, don't worry if it feels like maybe you're being a late bloomer, that it takes you September in order to really integrate that. Now, if you're on the ball and you were getting downloads all through the eclipse, all through the craziness. You were still getting the downloads because you were hitting that roller coaster at a place where you were like, all right, what's next? Instead of sitting back and just enjoying the ride. So if you're on the ball, you might have already had a lot of push to feel like you need to integrate all of this stuff already. It's time for you to slow down and recognize we're just coming off of a wild ride. Just because we have new dreams doesn't mean the rest of our life is going to be in that crazy kind of energy. Crazy dreams, growing, and expansion is always done in spurts. It's not something that we can expect to hold forever. So all of those options and all those new things you might have been trying if you were really on the ball coming into the eclipse, give it time. Give it time so you can form a process and a pattern and something that's very sustainable and authentic to you from all these new things that the eclipse has spurred you to try. So there are two sides of that coin there. There's the people who are just now warming up to their downloads and to their dream seeds, and to the people who just grabbed right on at the beginning of August and said, I'm riding this sucker. And also for September, we have home. Should all look this card up because I don't think my camera ever does it justice. It's so detailed and it's so beautiful. And that's from the Enchanted Map deck, home. And this is about coming home. And no, we can't ever go home again. That place that we think is home, that we feel like it is home, it's mostly in our mind. It's mostly in our heart. But now is a chance to come home all anew. We've had these new dream seeds, and now we have to settle into our nest a bit and figure out what it's going to take to nurture those seeds. So enjoy that fall energy. It's going to be very, very nourishing this year, I think. I mean, I can already feel it, can't you? All right. I will make sure all that gets up on the blog so you have a convenient place to look at all that information from the reading. And I'll make sure to post that later. So, who is on and who would like a card? Emily, Haley, are you guys still on? Well, if not, I can always tag them with their card. Emily. Oh, I do not read these reversed. Slow and steady. And I don't want you to have any misgivings about slow and steady. There's absolutely nothing wrong with slow and steady. And in fact, as we're going into September, that is exactly how I want to experience my September in integration energy. I want it to be this beautiful unfolding thing. And I think that's what the spirits would like you to experience as well. Does that make sense? Quickly do Haley. Haley. And I will tag her in this. We have the Dragon's Lair. It's kind of like the Fortress of Solitude. But at least for me, and maybe it's because I got some Taurus in the right houses in my natal chart. I need my home base. I need my place of power. I need my home to be my sanctuary. especially because I am out there and doing work and talking to people throughout the day. So I don't really think there's anything wrong with having something like the Fortress of Solitude, or the Dragon's Lair was the card, but it reminds me of, Superman's Fortress of Solitude. It is my place of power, and it might seem remote, but without that, I don't have the energy, and we'll say motivation because no other words are coming right now, to be able to take on bigger work and bigger expansion of myself and to try for bigger dreams. So this might indicate that you need to really settle in and build that place of power for yourself. Just don't make it a place you hide in. A dragon. I'm reading this novel series. I don't even know the name of it, but the author is Lindsay Hall, and she has 3 women who are off to save the world, and these are all magical people. And these particular 3 women are dragon souls, so they are part human and part dragon spiritually. And part of the hallmark of being a dragon soul is that they all have their troves. So they're troves of dragon treasure. And they keep it behind locked doors, so nobody can see it, nobody can mess with their stuff. But they go there to recharge, and they go there to hold the things that they find most valuable. And that's kind of like where I am with using my own home as a sanctuary, but not a place to hide. It's some place to replenish and renew, but it's not where you're going to stick your head in the sand like an ostrich. It's something that's going to help build you up so you can get out there. Alrighty, tidy. Is there anybody else on who would like a card drawn for them? I don't know why. I know why I find myself singing that song. My dad is, by nature, he's an entertainer. He's always with the jokes, always with the bad jokes and the puns. But he used to like to go on cruise ships and get up at the talent show. And I know this is a thing from something like either the Carol Burnett show or one of those 1950s, 1960s comedies. But it's a whole fake magic act. It's funny. He would always do that, and it's one of our family things. So instead of singing the Jeopardy song, I sing that. All right. Have a great week. I will see all of you on Wednesday when I come back with some great tips. And I set out what all that was going to be for the week, so I had it lined up so I didn't have to think so hard about it. And now I don't remember off the top of my head. Oh, I think it's about discernment. I'm sure I'll come up with a fancier title by then, by Wednesday. But we're going to be talking all about discernment because we're heading into this integration month. We're going to need some good hints and tips and some good advice about how to discern when we're being limited in fear-based thinking, and when soul is actually talking. And sometimes both are talking at the same time, and we need to weed through that. So I'm going to be spending a lot of time this month about talking how to be fiercely sensitive and how to have that discernment and that sense of center so you can just move from a much more up-leveled and powerful place. And if you are struggling at all during this integration period after the eclipse, if you are going through this thing where it's just like, I don't know where I'm going, I don't know what I'm doing, and I don't know what any of this means, then book a reading with me. My I Need a Sign healing and reading session is designed so that you get both the clarity, the guidance, and the healing around blocks that might be troubling you, that might actually be preventing you from working with the guidance you are getting. Because sometimes it's not that you don't have the answers. Sometimes the cards are going to tell you what you knew deep down. but it was fear and blocks that were stopping you from just moving forward with that. And sometimes you want to move forward, but you're just not sure how. You don't have the guidance. So this is why I offer this very integrative kind of reading and healing session, so that you can get the best of both worlds, so that you can find center faster and stay there and get moving toward what you love. All right, I will see you Wednesday. Bye, Emily. Bye, Haley.